Okay, good evening, everyone here. I call this public hearing to order. I'd like to recognize and appreciate that we're holding this hearing within the traditional territories of the Chichat and Hupuchasset First Nations. My name is Penny Cody. I'm the director of the Sproat Lake electoral area. Okay, good evening, everyone here. I call this public hearing to order. Something I'd like to recognize and appreciate that we're holding this hearing within the traditional territories of the Chichat and Hupuchasset First Nations. Okay, thank you for that. My name is Penny Cote. I'm the director from the Sproat Lake electoral area. I'd like to introduce you to the ACRD planning staff, Mr. Alex Dyer, planning manager, Brooke Eschuk, planner 1, Jason Kivas, bylaws enforcement officer. This hearing is being held in the ACRD boardroom and electronically by Zoom. It is being recorded and is live streaming on the ACRD website. So would staff like to please provide direction on instruction on how to participate in this hearing?
Sure, thank you. So first of all, thank you, Les, for joining us. And if you are watching the live stream online and you'd like to join in on the meeting, the details on how to connect into the meeting are on the Zoom invite document on the ACRD website where you found the YouTube link. I just want to quickly start by highlighting some of the tools in Zoom if you do join online, and then also in the boardroom that'll help you participate. So if you are online and you do join in the meeting, we ask that you mute your audio and that you only unmute when you're asked to speak. There will be an opportunity for you to speak after staff introduce the application. The applicants have an opportunity to present. So when the chair calls upon members of the public to comment on the bylaws, we ask that you either put your hand up or you call out that you'd like to speak. If you are online, you don't unmute yourself. If you're in the boardroom here, Les, you will use the microphone system, which is the at the table in front of you, and that'll have the little silver button that'll unmute you and it'll focus the camera on you so those online can hear your comments. If you do join online as well, there is a chat feature in the Zoom, so you can add any questions or comments in there that you would like addressed during the meeting. These will be brought forward when the chair asks for public comments, and there will be a final opportunity prior to the end of the public hearing to ask any final questions or make any final comments. Thanks.
Thank you for that. The subject of this hearing are bylaws P1509 and P1510. These bylaws are applicable to 10787 Kimola Road and are necessary to rezone the subject property to facilitate a 3-lot subdivision. If you have questions or comments about any other unrelated topic, I'd ask that you contact the regional district staff after this hearing has been terminated. So at this point, would staff now read out the notice of the public hearing?
Public hearing for proposed development in electoral area D, Sproat Lake, has been scheduled to consider application number RD 24005, bylaws P1509 and P1510. Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 at 7 o'clock. Electronic call-in or in-person attendance at the Alberni Clayoquot Regional District office located at 3008 5th Avenue, Port Alberni, BC. Property owner and applicant Les and Sue Strachan. The subject property is located at 10787 Kimola Road and is legally described as Lot A, Section 91, Clayoquot District Plan, EPP 2899. Bylaws P1509 and P1510 are necessary to rezone the subject property to facilitate a 3-lot subdivision. Bylaw P1509 is a Sproat Lake official community plan amendment bylaw to redesignate the subject property from rural use to residential use. Bylaw P1510 is a zoning atlas amendment bylaw to rezone the subject property from Forest Rural A3 district to Small Holdings A1 district. The public hearing will be held by the Director for Electoral Area D, the alternate director, or the chairperson of the regional district. The board resolution making this delegation, copies of the bylaw P1509 and P1510 and all relevant background documents are available for review at the ACRD office and are available as supplementary information on the ACRD website, acrd.bc.ca/events/5-11-2024. Planning staff are available to answer questions in person through email or by phone during regular office hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, from October 18th, 2024 to November 5th, 2024, excluding statutory holidays. Anyone who feels their interest in property will be affected by the proposed bylaws will be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard. You can participate in the public hearing in person, electronically, or by phone. Full instructions to do so can be provided by contacting planning staff. In addition, participation instructions are included in the supplementary information available at acrd.bc.ca/events/5-11-2024. The public hearing will be conducted from the ACRD office located at 3008 Fifth Avenue, Port Alberni, BC. Written correspondence can be submitted to the ACRD by hard copy delivered to the ACRD office in person or by mail. Email sent to publichearings@acrd.bc.ca. Email submissions will only be considered received if receipt confirmation is provided by ACRD staff. Written submissions can be provided at the public hearing or in advance. Written submissions provided in advance of the public hearing must be received no earlier than 8 a.m. October 18th, 2024, and no later than 4 p.m. November 5th, 2024. Submissions provided ahead of the public hearing outside these parameters will not be included. If you have any questions, planning staff are available to provide assistance during regular office hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, excluding statutory holidays. We can be reached at Alberni Clayoquot Regional District Planning Department, 3008 Fifth Avenue, Port Alberni, BC, B9Y2E3. Phone number 250-720-2700 and email planning@acrd.bc.ca.
Thank you so much, Brooke, for that, reading the notice of the public hearing. It's a lot. So the purpose of this public hearing is to receive input, written and verbal, from any person who believes that their interest in property is affected by the bylaws. Members of the public will be allotted 5 minutes to provide their comments the first time. We'll hear everyone wishing to speak for the first time before allowing second comments. Each time a member of the public provides their comments, they will be allotted a maximum of 5 minutes. A person can come to the speaker's podium as many times as required, provided the person is providing information not previously presented at the public hearing. Seeing that there's really nobody from the public out there besides the applicant, there may be people online though. So the chair will receive, the board of directors will receive full minutes of this hearing before voting on these bylaws. Staff are taking minutes that summarize the issues raised, so please speak clearly to ensure accuracy. Now, would staff please introduce the proposal?
Yes, happy to. Thank you. And we do not have any participants on the Zoom at this point, but again, if you are watching the live stream and like to participate, there is a link to register for the Zoom meeting on the ACRD website under the November 5th calendar entry. So the application that we're dealing with here today, I'll just highlight the agency referrals first. The agency referral responses that we have received recommend that the bylaws be approved or that their interests are unaffected, subject to the conditions outlined in the responses. Responses were received from Island Health and from the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. The Island Health referral provided general comments on water, sewage disposal, and subdivision. And the Ministry of Transportation referral outlined support for the 3-lot subdivision, provided that the proposal can support on-site sewage disposal, and that road dedication would be required along the northern boundary of the property at Camola Road at the time of subdivision. And it will highlight that the Ministry of Transportation will need to approve the zoning amendment bylaw as per the Transportation Act, as it's within 800 meters of the highway. The copies of the agency referral responses are available for public review. They're linked on the ACRD website, and hard copies are available here in the room as well. The agency responses will form a part of the public hearing report that will be considered by the board. There were no letters of public correspondence that were received for this public hearing, so nothing to report on there. And then just a quick summary of what the proposal is. The property owners have applied to rezone the 3.2 hectare property from Forest Rural A3 District to Small Holdings A1 District to allow for a 3-lot subdivision. As you heard, the rezoning includes an amendment to the Sproat Lake Official Community Plan to redesignate the property from rural use to residential use in order to facilitate the rezoning. The applicants have submitted a conceptual subdivision layout as part of the rezoning application package. Each of the proposed lots within that subdivision can meet the 1 hectare minimum lot size to support subdivision with both on-site water and on-site sewer. One of the proposed lots would have a 10-meter wide panhandle access as proposed for the driveway, and a parcel frontage waiver will be required for that at the subdivision stage. I'll also highlight that the property is impacted by development permit area 1, which includes a 15-meter riparian area along a natural water course and a wetland area in the southeast of the property. The development permit application to satisfy the DPA 1 guidelines would also be required at the subdivision stage. The bylaws here were given first reading on October 28th, 2024, at which time the public hearing was delegated by the area director. A public hearing is being held for this application as it involves an amendment to the Sproat Lake OCP. And then finally, if the rezoning application proceeds, the applicants will be required to provide confirmation from a registered on-site wastewater practitioner that the parcel can accommodate on-site sewage disposal to that 0.8 hectare minimum lot size in the A1 zone. This was included as a condition of approval when the board first considered the application on August 28th. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you. I have a question about the APC. So the APC would have seen this. And there doesn't really seem to be anything in the report about APC recommendations, or are there any of their questions?
Yeah, sure. Through the chair, if I can answer that, the APC did consider this application on August 19th, where they supported the recommendation to proceed with the application. That APC recommendation was received by the board when they considered the bylaws for first reading on August 28th. So there were limited questions from the APC, and they did express support.
Thank you. I just wanted that included. I just wondered why APC recommendations were not included in a public hearing. So at this time, would the applicant like to add anything?
No, so far you've been very clear, and I don't think you've missed anything.
Great, thank you. So I'll go to staff. Is there anybody in the audience?
No, there is nobody online, and we don't have anybody participating in the room here. Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay, thank you. So this was the part where we would hear from members of the public. Because we don't have anyone, I won't bother reading this. So at this time, would staff or the applicant like to add anything at all before we conclude?
Yeah, no, I think I don't think staff had anything else to add. I will just highlight again, as I mentioned in the agency referral section, that if this application proceeds to second and third reading of the bylaws, we would be referring it out to the Ministry of Transportation so they could review under the Transportation Act to ensure that there's no impact on the highway. But beyond that, the other requirement would be the wastewater practitioner report, and we can speak with the applicant about that after the meeting. And I have nothing else to add, I don't think.
Okay, thank you. Knowing that, unless you have nothing more to add, okay. Thank you. So at this point, I will read that please be advised that members of the board cannot receive any new information related to these bylaws between the end of this hearing and making a final decision on the bylaws. If any board member does so, the hearing could be invalidated and would have to be held again. With that in mind, does anyone have any final comments? I call for the first time for any further representation on the bylaws. I call for a second time for any further representation on these bylaws. I call for a third time for any representation on the bylaws. No one's still online or anything there? Thank you. So hearing no further comments, I declare this meeting terminated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.